This program lineup is brought to you by Vision Express.
NBC's Wednesday primetime lineup comes into focus with Vision Express. Fast, fashionable, focused.
KUAM TV8, first on Guam. KUAM News headlines are presented by Calvo's Insurance, protecting Micronesia for 85 years. Matson and the Adai Itano program. Apply at matson.com and McDonald's of Guam. I'm loving it.
Ahead on KUAM News Primetime. The man at the helm of the island's largest GovGuam agency is stepping down by year's end, but his work is far from over. More on the superintendent of the Guam Department of Education's resignation coming up.
Guam has been excluded from the radiation exposure compensation once again as Congress proposes to reauthorize RECA. I'm Mitsuki Hirayama with more from Delegate Moylan on the renewed push for justice.
The Office of the Attorney General says it's short on time, staff, and support, asking senators for more of all three in their FY 2026 budget request. I'm Nevaeh Anderson with the details next.
Hafa and good evening. Welcome to KUAM News Primetime. I'm Destiny Cruz-Lingus. Thank you so much for making us a part of your day. Tonight, a shakeup at the helm of the island's largest government agency as Guam Department of Education Superintendent Dr. Kenneth Swanson formally announces his plans to step down. But with significant challenges still ahead, Swanson's work is far from over.
Tuesday's Guam Education Board meeting took a turning point as Guam Department of Education Superintendent Dr. Kenneth Swanson announced he will be stepping down at the end of the year.
After careful reflection and with a heavy heart, I'm formally submitting. This letter is 6 months' notice of my resignation as Superintendent of Guam Department of Education.
Visibly emotional, Swanson citing health issues as the reason for his decision, reading from a letter dated June 17, just hours after a one-on-one interview with KUAM, in which he spoke about his relationship with the board amid ongoing discussions about his role.
We've been looking at the issues and having conversations privately, mostly, to understand where we are. But yeah, that is for personnel matters, and I will be dealing with some of those with them this evening.
The board unanimously accepting his notice, expressing support, appreciation, and sadness, committing to helping him finish his term strong. GEB member Dr. Judith Guthards sharing these remarks.
Your efforts have been appreciated. You still have work to do. You got to help us get our Simon Sanchez School open, Rios done, and a lot of other things. And you're going to be busy for 6 months. And I'd like to ask everybody in the department to support our superintendent, help him. Help him. Whatever your individual jobs are. Contribute to moving ahead.
Meanwhile, GEB Chair Angel Sablan declining Swanson's request for an earlier departure, reinforcing his trust in the superintendent.
Not having somebody who's tried his best around makes me sad, but he knows best what's best for him and his family.
To note, Swanson took the helm of the government of Guam's largest agency after Typhoon Mawar and has repeatedly expressed his commitment to rebuilding and stabilizing Guam's public school system. Meantime, Guam Federation of Teachers President Tim Fedenko expressing hope that the superintendent role wouldn't take a year to fill again. Swanson's resignation takes effect on December 31st.
Significant expansions to radiation exposure compensation is now in the Senate's version of Trump's One Big Beautiful Bill, but Guam is excluded once again. Mitsuki Hirayama hears from Congressman Moylan on what's being done to advocate for the territory amid a renewed fight for justice.
Nearly 8 decades since the U.S. government's nuclear testing in the Pacific, many still suffer from illnesses linked to radiation exposure like cancer and lung disease, and Guam is still fighting to correct the injustice to this day. Congress is proposing to reauthorize the Radiation Exposure Compensation Act, or RECA, which expired last June. The provision, introduced by Missouri Senator Josh Hawley, is now in the Senate's version of the GOP's massive reconciliation bill, significantly expanding compensation for some states, but excludes Guam once again. Congressman James Moylan says Guam won't be sidelined.
We were surprised when we received the information, but also we know this is an opportunity for the House. Now the measure comes down to the House, where we can introduce our amendment to include Guam. So we'll be fighting for this.
The National Academy of Sciences recognizes the people of Guam as downwinders, a term for communities affected by nuclear fallout, but the territory is not recognized under RECA. Now a renewed push for justice as the Pacific Association for Radiation Survivors and island leaders continue to advocate for its inclusion.
We all are concerned with this. We already have had our meeting with the PARS organization. Mr. Silvestro and his group came on over to our office to discuss the situation regarding Senate's bill that they introduced. In addition to that, we had Senator Therese Chalahi in our office too to see what we're going to do next.
The delegate says though the reauthorization was introduced in the Senate, it will come back to the House, and that's where the fight begins.
We must include Guam. There'll probably be other states that maybe want to be included too, but we're prepared with the support that we have from the Guam legislature, with the support we have from PARS, and the leadership of their organization too. So I'm looking forward to getting on back to DC and making sure this happens when the measure comes on down back to the House.
Matsuki Hirayama, KUAM News.
Meantime, we'll have more key updates from the congressman tomorrow on Primetime. Tune in for more as he gives a one-on-one interview on various topics. And continuing their budget hearings for the upcoming fiscal year, the Guam legislature took a closer look at the Office of the Attorney General's request, asking how they can streamline operations while ensuring quality service to their client, the people of Guam. Nevaeh Anderson has more.
The Office of the Attorney General presented their budget request for the 2026 fiscal year Tuesday. A $2.86 million increase from fiscal year 2025, the OAG is requesting $24.1 million. Senator Christopher Duenas says that with Adeloop's suggested request for the OAG sitting at just $19 million, the legislature will do their best to get, quote, as close as possible to the office's request given current fiscal constraints.
We're trying to keep this as an operational budget, a bare bones budget. I do not believe in overspending the money that's given to us.
Oversight Chair on the OAG, Senator Tello Taitigui, questions the office's staffing and recruitment challenges.
According to your document here, you need 96 attorneys. You only have 40 at this point.
Responding, the AG cites delayed allotments by the Department of Administration, admitting that some attorneys have resigned after not receiving timely pay. Taitigui asked whether they would benefit from fiscal autonomy, similar to the judiciary and the public auditor.
We have the computers, we have the people, we have the staff. What we need is the legislative authority to be truly independent.
Taitigui also raised concerns about the Child Support Enforcement Division's efforts to return undistributed child support funds totaling $5.3 million. Deputy Attorney General Ray Ilagan says with dwindling staff numbers, going from 60 to now only 41 employees, it's taking more time to distribute the funds to rightful owners, but they are doing what they can. Senator Shangu Matautau focused his questioning on increases in employee benefits, asking why the AG's request has increased by nearly $950,000. Fiscal Officer Thomas Paulino responds.
That already included the increase in contribution, and that was established by BBMR. So we're using their figures. If it does change, it usually changes in the next fiscal year based on the OPA audit.
Senator Sabrina Salas-Matanani goes back to the undistributed child support funds.
I'm just curious how much this 5.3, what does that break down to in terms of children, in terms of families, parents that are owed this money?
It varies. I can't say how many cases it involves. What we're doing now is we're going through different types of categories and we're trying to analyze and locate the individuals in those cases. So it's on a case-by-case basis that we have to do it.
To end, the AG's office says serving the people of Guam requires resources. And while its request represents less than 2% of the government's overall FY 2026 budget, they remain committed to doing all they can to further streamline their operations. Nevaeh Anderson, KUAM News.
Fireworks ban, silencers vetoed, and new protections for voters and families. A fresh round of Guam laws will soon take effect. KUAM's Shauna Murato has more on the bills signed, vetoed, and those that lapsed into law.
It's official. Bill 2038 has lapsed into law, repealing the use and sale of customer-grade fireworks on Guam. Backyard fireworks are once again banned. But not every proposal passed muster. Bill 2728, which would have legalized gun suppressors or silencers, was vetoed by Governor Lulian Guerrero. She says the sound of gunfire warns the public of possible danger and helps keep communities safe. Other vetoes included Bill 8838, aimed at changing vehicle title taxes, Bill 5438, updating voter registration and election procedures, and Bill 5938, requiring businesses to itemize the business privilege tax on receipts, rejected over concerns of fraud risks and burdens on small businesses. But many notable bills were signed into law, including Bill 7838, allowing SNAP recipients to buy hot meals at restaurants, Bill 5338, boosting voter privacy by ending public posting of voter registration lists, Bill 8038, raising the threshold for small estates to avoid costly probate, Bill 12938, officially recognizing February 21st as Ha'anan Hila Nana, or Mother Language Day, and Bill 9538, letting child care centers operate as intergenerational daycare sites, blending the young with the elderly. For the full list of bills signed, vetoed, and lapsed into law, head to KUAM.com.
And that was our Shauna Murato. Time for a quick break, but coming up on Primetime, in this week's Fiscal Fitness tips on how to have fun this season without breaking the bank with summertime savings. You're watching KUAM.
Don't need a work break, keep the smile on your face. The moments you can't replay, and I'll be around. Whoa. You can count on me. You can count on me for life.
Wherever life takes you, we're always here for you. Calvo's Insurance. Count on us for life.
Win one championship, you're celebrated. Win twice, they call you a hero. 3 times, they say words like legend and dynasty. 4, 5, 6 titles, they'll say enough is enough. But when you've won it all 7 times, what's left to say? The trophy speaks for itself. Introducing the full lineup of Ram trucks. Ram, 7-time winner of Motor Trend's Truck of the Year.
NBC's Wednesday primetime lineup comes into focus with Vision Express. Fast, fashionable, focused.
KUAM TV8. First.
Speed your life with Docomo Pacific Fiber Internet. Get symmetrical upload and download speeds up to 5 gigs. Get started with Fiber 500 at $145 a month, Fiber 1 gig at $215 a month, or Fiber 5 gig at $299 a month. Plus, get 2 SuperPod 6Es with any plan, and a free EcoFlow River 3 and bonus welcome kit with 1 gig and 5 gig plans. Experience tomorrow's islands today with Docomo Pacific Fiber Internet.
Pizza Hut is about to hook you up with more of what you love. Because when you order any pizza, we'll hook you up with a free pizza later. That's a pizza now and a free pizza later. Get even more with the Hut Hookup. Order now, only on the Pizza Hut app. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Welcome back to Primetime. A man accused in a violent GDOE kidnapping and shooting is asking the court for a chance at bail. Jathan John Pangolina Tatautau has spent more than 2 months behind bars and insists on his right to a speedy trial. His attorney told the court that a motion for bail was filed last month, but Superior Court Judge Maria Senzon said arguments for release will need to be heard by a magistrate judge as Tatautau's trial date quickly approaches. The case now moves toward trial, with deadlines set for discovery and witness lists in the coming weeks. A final pretrial hearing is scheduled for July 8, and jury selection is expected to begin July 17. Tatautau is one of 3 siblings accused in an April 2 incident that left a man shot and severely beaten. He faces multiple felony charges, including attempted murder, kidnapping, and aggravated assault, as well as special allegations involving the use of a deadly weapon and committing crimes while on felony release. A woman already facing charges for drug possession is in trouble with the law yet again. 42-year-old Stephanie Marie Gagan Regis is now charged with fraudulent use of a credit card, a third-degree property. According to court documents, police say Regis used a bank card belonging to a woman who had recently passed away, making purchases totaling more than $250 at 2 locations. Investigators believe the card may have been stolen during a burglary at the victim's home. Surveillance footage from a gas station helped officers track down the car used in the crime, registered to Regis's cousin. When police pulled him over, he claimed Regis had borrowed the vehicle. Regis later admitted to police she used the card knowing it was likely stolen. She remains free on pretrial release from an earlier drug case and has prior convictions for retail theft and forgery.
Fiscal Fitness is made possible by our partner, Coast 365 Crediting. Together we thrive.
All right, it's Wednesday, and this week in Fiscal Fitness, summer fun doesn't have to burn a hole in your wallet. We're sharing smart, simple ways to soak up the season without breaking the bank.
All right, summertime is here, and that means we are back at Coast 360. I mean, we come here around the calendar and everything, but my friend Drew is here, and we are talking today, Drew, about summertime savings. Summertime is about vacation. It's about graduation season. How soon should I actually secure a vacation loan, like with you guys, in terms of like the optimal APR, the best time to get in?
The answer to that is as soon as possible. Get that vacation budget and get that vacation loan as soon as possible, because it's better to have the money and not need it just yet than to need it and not have it.
Absolutely.
So establish it as soon as possible, get that money, because what's gonna happen is when you start planning, you know, your flights, your hotel bookings, your expenses, they're gonna be things that you didn't necessarily catch when you're during the first planning. So as these unneeded expenses, you know, car could break down on the way to the airport.
That's a great point.
You want to be prepared for things like that. So having that money ready will benefit you.
Okay, further down the calendar, right? November, December type. How soon out should I start planning for the holidays?
Well, I would say about 4 to 5 months ahead. So right now.
Okay.
So it's probably best to start saving, because the earlier you save, the more money you have by the time it comes time to purchase gifts and whatnot. So get the loans done, have that money in your account, because like I said earlier, it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it.
Yeah, the holidays are a very, very busy time for us locals here. I'm also not one of those chamorros who's got, like, 75 godkids. How about you?
No, not yet.
Okay, well,
soon.
Yeah, soon. Getting credit cards, as we've talked about in this segment, and making sure that you get that. Is there a best time to actually apply for one? Like during the summer months? I mean, do you guys have promotions or like certain products that you guys have that are more conducive to summertime spending?
Not really. So when it comes to the interest rates and the different, offers that we have, it's not really seasonal. It's really depends on, of course, the market. But definitely the best time to get it is as soon as possible. When it comes to credit cards, you want to start building that credit as soon as you can. You don't have to wait till after summer. You can start now, and if you want to use it during the summer, start spending, of course, and start making those payments, because every payment counts. Every early payment counts. It starts to build your credit, so that when you need it in the future, you have that credit score ready for you to take out more loans. Okay,
well, I've been saving, I've been diligent, I've been tracking everything like you guys have been advising me, I've been budgeting, but I know it's a summertime. My friends are coming back from the States, there's a bunch of parties, some of my favorite stores are having like bonuses and everything like that. Is there anything I can do to make sure that I stay on top of that rainy day fund so I don't completely deplete it.
Yeah, so definitely budgeting is key. You know, when it comes to, you know, the money that's coming in, make sure you set aside what you need for your bills first, because first and foremost, that's the important part. As long as, you know, you have a roof over your head, you have, you know, food in your fridge, that's priority. Everything else, if like you want to set aside for savings or for leisure, have those separate accounts, and then have, of course, your savings in place so that when you look at your checkings or your fun account, you know, you don't see as much in there, so you're less inclined to spend all of it. Pay for the aircon first before you spend on anything else.
That is the best financial advice you're going to get like this year, and that's why you are the man, Drew. Everybody here at Coast 360 is so knowledgeable, and that's what we bring you each and every week here on Fiscal Fitness.
Fiscal Fitness is made possible by our partner, Coast 360 Federal Credit.
30-year-old Georgiana Quintanilla Taikenko, originally from Jotnya and a graduate of Southern High, held an extra special launch event for her latest book, Always Never Knowing. It's a wonderfully spun tale that takes you on a journey of cultural identity, adolescence, and family dynamics. Dozens of excited readers got in Tumon and got to talk to her, immediately sharing their impressions of her prose and their love for her latest story and its characters. And if you weren't able to pick up your copy, or if you're off island, you can get them at uogpress.com or at uogpress on Instagram, or Bestseller Books in real life. Did you catch Mauli's performance on the last hour of Today with Jenna and Friends this morning on NBC?
Hawaiian singer Maoli is bringing the sunshine to Studio 1A.
His blend of reggae and country soul has made him a sensation, and he's about to perform a song off his new album.
The rising Hawaiian musical artist, along with Guam's very own Kiko Yamashita on the guitar, wowed the crowd with a blend of reggae and country with their new songs from their album Last Sip of Summer and Lonely Won't Leave Me Alone. Mauli will be performing this tune along with many others at the Hapaloa Concert Series on July 5 at Ipao Beach Park with Jason J and EXO. Get your tickets now at guamtime.net.
Now for a look at your world at home. Here's a view on looking SM Beach Park.
GU Self-Storage, located in Harmon next to McDonald's, offers a variety of storage units. With rates starting as low as $95 per month, we offer complimentary use of dollies, push carts, Pines hand trucks, and pallet jack, with a fully covered loading and unloading areas and ADA accessible units. We offer 24-hour CCTV surveillance monitoring, alarm, and individual pin-coded gate and door access, because your safety is our priority. GU Self-Storage, voted Pika's Best in 2024. Call 671-648-7867 today.
Being stationed on Guam, there is much to do on the beautiful island. But before you pack, sanitize any household items and leave any organic materials behind to prevent the introduction of invasive species. If it's not native, it could be invasive. Leave invasives behind.
New training location confirmed. The Mariana Islands. Before and after training, you will identify and sanitize your tactical gear to prevent the spread of invasive species. If it's not native, it could be invasive. Leave invasives behind.
Leaving my phone and bush cutter outside. What's gonna happen? Ooh. Yep. Oh, take it. Come on, bro. It's free. Bro. Yo. Bro. Bro. Just take it. Dude,
looking to ditch your old phone?
Take it.
Trade into Guam's most reliable network and get an extra $300 off the latest phones on any unlimited plan. GTA, we start with you.
Wesley kicks out. Simon, big three. Oh, baby! Wesley kicks out. Simon, big three. Oh, baby!
Can somebody please help me judge this chicken?
Juicy, seasoned.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the hair.
Now, who you think made this?
I don't know who cooked it, but they know how to cook.
Boom! Oh, McDonald's! Yes!
Are you serious? You don't like Mickey D's? Okay.
Guess what? I got something special for y'all. Double dip!
Cause that nods mean people who love McCrispy strips.
How you feeling now? Yeah.
Caught in 4K.
McCrispy strips, man, from Mickey D's. They here for it. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba.
Parents, would you like your child to be well prepared for school? The Guam Early Learning Council believes in building a supportive community to help your child be successful in school and in life. If you would like resources and information to see if your child is reaching key stages of growth for school, call 311 Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. excluding holidays. We are here to assist.
I'm going to school. I'm going to learn and play. That's so cool.
Bye. I wish they could move back home.
Should we build on a honeymoon? Yes. Yes!
First Hawaiian Bank knows that family comes first. That's why our bankers work with you to make your what-ifs a reality. Personalized service and digital tools, all under one roof when you bank on the best. First Hawaiian Bank. It all starts with yes.
We are crushing it, as the young people would say, here on News Bites, because we're bringing you the very best, the super most fun things to do here in the summertime here on the island. And you know who's also crushing it? My friends at Hafaloha. So Tara and Lenny, everybody over there, the whole crew at Hafaloha, and they have this amazing concert series coming up, and they are bringing Maui to Guam. He is going to bring world-class entertainment. You want to make sure to check this out, because his music is going to inspire you, thrill you. Make sure to get your tickets right now at guamtime.net, because Hafaloha and the collabs that they are making is absolutely amazing. What better way to celebrate the summer than to have some awesome music? Also, the Spotlight session is coming up, so I want you to make sure to make plans to attend this. A monthly cabaret series, so please make sure to check out. Look at that beautiful rainbow. I love that. Breaking Wave Theater Company. Throughout June, you have these incredible sessions, 8 p.m. and by donation. Support the arts, and we certainly do here at KUAM. And Breaking Wave Theater Company, they are doing it better than anybody else. All right, back to music now. I mean, there's music in the performing arts, obviously, but you know what rocks? Freedom. And we celebrate that on the 4th of July, and Freedom Rocks is an aptly named concert, and it's going to be down at Polaris Point. It is going to feature Johnny Sweet, it features Shante, and it is absolutely 100% live. Gets you ready for the fireworks that night. Make sure to check it out. If you have never been to a concert at Polaris Point, you guys, swing by, because it's an amazing time. Right, Jen? Absolutely. There you go. It's got her seal of approval. Good to go. Happy birthday to Ha'ani Lynn DeGracia Chrysostamo. Your shout out, Ani, says, wishing you a very, very happy birthday, and I miss and love you always. This is from a very special someone. You know who it is, and we hope the entire island wishes you a happy birthday, because on this Wednesday, the 18th of June, it's your day to celebrate, and we celebrate you as your island family. Ha'ani, we hope you have a absolutely wonderful day. Want to wish your special someone a happy birthday? Just click the QR code here on your screen or email birthdayclub@kuam.com.
And that's your primetime show. Thanks for watching. I'm Destiny Cruz-Langus. Have a safe evening and stay beautiful.
Hafa Guam, I'm Jason Salas with KUAM. April 2025 marked the 50th anniversary of the fall of Saigon, and in that time, a very important moment in Guam history too, because leading up to the fall and for about 4 months afterwards, Guam played a role in Operation New Life, where our island gave shelter, hope, support, and friendship to over 110,000 Vietnamese refugees for Operation New Life here at the Asa Memorial Beach Park and up at Anderson in Jigo. And up in Dedido at the Micronesia Mall right now, there's an exhibit that captures this moment in American history and tells Guam's role in Operation New Life. It's what we're going to explore in this week's episode of The Hub. We are here in the Operation New Life Center. It is amazing, this collection of memorabilia, of documents, of history, and a part of Guam history. And the gentleman who is the historian and the curator of all of these amazing works right now and this center is Jeff Meyer. Jeff, very good to see you.
Oh, thank you.
And thank you so much for putting this together because, you know, like I'm 51 now, and I remember when I was taking Guam history, of course, you know, Liberation Day for us is coming up. That was the most important day of the year.
Right.
But Operation New Life was either taught either just anecdotally or just, you know, not at all, which is really, really sad because this is a significant moment in Guam history that needs to be talked about.
Right.
Yeah. So what do we have here at the center, and what journey has it been for you personally as a student of history to assemble this?
Well, we had a display, I believe 3 years ago at the Sands Plaza for, basically it was all of Vietnam War. That's how I got first involved with this. As far as curating, a lot of this stuff is, not all of the stuff is mine, but a lot of it is. And some of it's actually donated by folks who actually evacuated their Vietnam refugees that are living here now. A lot of these clothes and stuff like that are actually been donated, and the stuff here behind me is part of the Vietnam veterans from Guam set up. So there's other things here besides my stuff, but definitely been a very interesting ride, just learning about the events that happened from April to August of 1975, and just realizing we had 111,000 people here when the population of Guam at that time was around 80,000. So I mean, it was more refugees here than there was actually people living on Guam.
Exactly.
There was 14 to 17 two-story Butler buildings down there, and could hold up to 5,000 refugees there. And then Arodi Point on Naval Base Guam reached a max of 39,000 people living in tents in mid-May of 1975. So just thinking about people living in tents, that many people, you know, it was just a lot of.
And of course, with this Operation New Life Center being located in a mall, like literally and everything. I mean, you get shoppers, you get tourists, you get passerbys, you get people just like, you know, going for a good bite to eat. You know, there's a student graduation as we're speaking right now and everything. But what do you see as for the people that walk by and maybe then, you know, hesitate or want to, you know, stick their head in and actually like see what's going on?
Well, I like to point out that on the outside, where usually like store displays are supposed to be, is people can actually walk out there and get a photograph with the background of being at Arodi Point, Naval Base Guam. We have tents painted on the walls, and we got a cot laying there, and people can actually walk in there and, you know, kind of feel what it's like to be a refugee, but get their picture taken through the glass. And then on this side, we have a picture of an old painting that was given to, who's the guy who used to write Pipe Dreams in the PDN?
Joe Murphy?
Joe Murphy.
Joe Murphy.
Yes, so this painting was given to Joe Murphy, and this artist ended up going...
The great Joe Murphy, yes.
He ended up going back on the ship, and we've never got any contact from this artist again. He went back to Vietnam. Plus, we have the B-52 cockpit that people can actually sit in.
That's
and
amazing.
Act like you're flying. And yes.
Well, my former ROTC instructor, you know, retired First Sergeant Dan Mendiola, was the gentleman who organized the Veterans Memorial over in Manilao. And you know, and he actually got like some of this. You know, it's got that gun turret there. You know, you've got the wonderful memorials, but kind of in the same way, you've actually got memorabilia straight from that period of American history.
Yes.
How'd you get that?
Well, those were the old Arclight Memorial B-52 used to sit out there on the Arclight Park there. People would drive in and be onto the right side when you're driving in.
Back when Anderson had the open houses every once in a while.
There's that old B-52 sitting there. We had to scrap it back in 2014, but that seat is actually from that aircraft, the very first one. And it's also the seat from the very famous photo of during Vietnam. There's a daytime photo of the B-52 dropping a whole string of bombs probably the most famous picture of B-52s during Vietnam.
And equally important perspective, yes, you know, the servicemen who actually served during that time.
Yes.
That was not just a mission to them like any other, you know, sortie or something like that. That was a very, very critical job that they had to do.
Very humanitarian, and yes.
Absolutely. Final question. What has this meant for you personally to be able to say, to just be involved with this in any capacity?
Well, for me, it's like I feel like I've actually been there talking to people. I was only 11 years old, not to date myself, but I was only 11 years old, and I vaguely remember hearing about this in the news. But now to be actually here and meeting some of the people that put this together who were refugees, and through the years as being a historian, it's been very impactful. There's one other gentleman who actually stayed at Assen, and he was a member of my church, and he was also a refugee, and he was okay until he got to Assen, and then he lost it. He just remembered the hills, and he just remembers the gratitude of the military and the Chamorro people that helped them out. He was like 10 years old too, like same age I was at that time. So.
Well, Jeff, thank you for keeping history alive for the wonderful Operation New Life Center here at the Micronesia Mall in Dededo. Thank you.
Thank you.
Honey, do you want some milk?
Do you ever wonder how your favorite products make their way into your local stores? Most arrive on state-of-the-art Matson vessels that transport containers of food, household items, equipment, and supplies into the islands every week. Because we know that you depend on us, we work closely with our partners to ensure that our shipments arrive on time, all the time, so you can find your favorite products when you need them. We transport the region's most precious cargo that supports successful businesses and promotes a better quality of life for our families. Matson is proud to have been the hometown shipping carrier for Guam, the CNMI, and Micronesia for the past 25 years, and you can count on us to be here for generations to come.
NBC's Wednesday primetime lineup comes into focus with Vision Express, fast, fashionable, focused.
KUAM TV8, first on Guam.
This crispy chicken is from a taco place.
This crispy chicken is from a taco place? Hey, this crispy chicken's from Taco Bell? The taco place? This chicken is so perfectly crispy with tortilla chip coating. It's from a taco place.
Surprise!
What? It comes in a burrito, too?
From your taco place, it's also a chicken place that's also a taco place.
Welcome back to the Hub. Well, now that you've seen inside the Operation New Life Center here at the Micronesia Mall and seen the exhibit, seen a lot of the artifacts that have been presented, I'd like now to introduce you to Dr. Nam Kim, whose deep emotional connection to putting this project together and to documenting the history and the importance of this place and gather all of these different artifacts has special significance for him as he's tracing his own family's life and his own experience as a member of Operation New Life. Here's my interview with Dr. Kim.
Jason, thank you so much.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for your presence here, Doc. And your story is amazing because the good doctor has joined us on the island here because he is a study of anthropology and your own family fled Vietnam when Saigon fell. And you have now come back to actually share with us the amazing memories that you have, but also solicit from our community people that may have of those things so that you can do your work and essentially connect history.
Right. That's right. Thank you so much. It's a privilege to be here and to be speaking with you. So as you mentioned, my family and I left Vietnam April 29, 1975. This was the day before the city was taken. We fled by a helicopter off the rooftop of the USAID building. We got out. I was only a year old at the time, so I don't remember any of this. But we left Saigon. We went through different vehicles all the way out to the coast, and we landed on the USS Midway. That took us to a different ship, eventually took us to the Philippines, and then we were brought to Guam. So we were here in May and June of 1975 as part of Operation New Life. In the last 10 years or so, I've been documenting my parents' family histories, their respective origin stories in Korea as well as in Vietnam. So I have mixed ancestry. My father is Korean, my mother is Vietnamese. But in doing this research, one pivotal episode of their life histories would be our time spent here. And that got me reading about the history of Operation New Life and about Guam.
Now, by definition, they call it Operation New Life, but many of these stories have surfaced over the past few years. But I mean, for you, it's not just an operation. Obviously, this is your story, the story of your family. You've got some pictures. Would you mind sharing those with us?
Because I'd be happy to.
And as you said, you were an infant at the time, and you were probably too young to remember this and everything. But how does it feel to actually, to look at these moments in time captured, and then to be able to, to look back?
It's surreal. It's surreal to be here. It's really a privilege to be able to come back to our first point of our first destination, leaving Vietnam. And when you say Operation New Life, yes, it was an operation that was instrumental in helping people to leave chaos and start over, essentially. But the operation set us up for our new foundation, for our adopted homeland. So getting out of Vietnam, but going into the unknown, essentially, but getting to that life because of all the efforts, not just of the folks involved with the operation, but all of the people along the way. And this includes many local Guamanians that helped to run the operation, that volunteered at the camps. So for us, this is a matter of being here to also express our gratitude. So this is an image that my father took, actually. So this is my mother and me, probably April 29th, April 30th, right off the coast of Vietnam. We're already on one of the ships. He had his camera bag with him when we evacuated. So he was able to snap photos along the way of our journey.
And it's so interesting, if I may, Doc, because your mother is looking off into the distance, saying, as you said, we're getting away from the chaos, from that. I'm doing this for my family. You're but a baby, and you're just kind of looking out at the water.
I'm oblivious to whatever's happening.
Yeah, it's an amazing image.
I know from speaking with my parents and hearing their stories that some of the feelings and the emotions and thoughts that were going through them as this was transpiring. And I'm guessing what she might be thinking at this moment is part of what she's described to me is this feeling of melancholy, because she's leaving her homeland. Not only is she leaving her ancestral homeland, she's leaving back family, her parents, her siblings, without any knowledge of what's going to happen to them once we leave. And this is us going out into the void, not knowing where we're going to end up. And so my suspicion is all of that is sort of flowing through her head in this image.
It's immeasurable courage and bravery to make that decision to do that, but obviously, for your family.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm sure there are many, many stories of different families making similar kinds of decisions as they contemplate this massive dislocation, displacement. So this is one image. I can show some more.
Yeah, please.
So this is an image. We landed on the USS Midway aircraft carrier, but then we were transferred to other vessels. This is one of the vessels that we were on. My father took this image, and you can just see the mass of life, the overcrowded conditions, and then more people coming on these barges to join us on these ships. And there are makeshift camps on the ships. This is an image of us now having reached Guam. So this would be at Oroti Point. And this is the tent city as things were still getting set up. People were waiting. There's my mother and me at the time. They described to me that we were essentially always ready to go. So even though we had gotten to this safe haven, we didn't fully unpack things. We always had, every day was spent just kind of waiting in line for things, for services or food, but also waiting for our number to be called to know, are we being moved to a different location or are we potentially being moved off island?
And entrusting your lives literally in the hands of strangers who would
absolutely
say, we have something for you, or this is where you might, we're sending you to go for safety.
Right. Absolute strangers. Absolute strangers. So I can't stress enough just the gratitude that we have.
And that's part of your work, because you are trying to reconnect with, with other people who have similar stories that did flee Vietnam, or people that may have been involved
That's right.
the strangers, essentially.
That's right. So I want to, before I talk about that project, I want to share something very quickly. Sure. This is an image. All of these photos have me and my mother, because my dad was taking those photos. Mm-hmm. This is the only image that we have of him, actually, during the Exodus. So there's me, there's my father, and this is aboard the USS Midway, the aircraft carrier. And the only reason I have this photograph is about a year and a half ago, I was doing research about the USS Midway and its role in Operation New Life. I realized that the Midway is now parked right off the coast of San Diego. It has a museum and has a library. Mm-hmm. I contacted the librarian and I asked if they had any reports or archival materials that I could take a look at. He directed me to a website that's run by someone out of Minnesota, I believe. And on the website are images of the Midway throughout the course of American history. I found the section that was Operation New Life. I started clicking through the thumbnails, just hoping that maybe I catch a glimpse of something related to us. And then this image popped up. The caption said nothing about us. It just simply said refugees in the hangar, Operation New Life. But I recognized myself and my father from that photo. And it got me thinking. I was shocked to have found it. I don't know what the odds would be to find something like that. But if we were able to find something like this, just floating around, how many other artifacts, stories, how many other materials are still out there, whether it's related to our family or to other families?
Yeah, pictures, documents,
everything.
Perhaps even video, maybe.
Absolutely.
Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist, over 20 years of experience.
Win one championship, you're celebrated. Win twice, they call you a hero. 3 times, they say words like legend and dynasty. 4, 5, 6 titles, they'll say enough is enough. But when you've won it all 7 times, what's left to say? The trophy speaks for itself. Introducing the full lineup of Ram trucks. Ram, 7-time winner of Motor Trend's Truck of the Year.
Now, here on this very hallowed ground at the War in the Pacific Park here in Assen, I'd like to introduce you to a gentleman I interviewed last year who is himself a Vietnamese refugee who came back to Guam after becoming a medical doctor, visiting this very land, the very same place that gave him and his family shelter 50 years ago, coming back for the first time. Dr. H. Bryant Wen visited Guam recently, speaking at the Hafaday Pacific Medical Conference. He's a man who's seen a lot with a unique connection to the territory, having returned and set foot on the island that he at one point called home after a half-century away.
My family was one of the refugees at the end of the Vietnam War. So the historic date for us is April 30th, 1975. But my family, we were able to leave early since my mother worked for the U.S. government. And then when we heard that Saigon actually fell, we left. And that's when we went to Guam.
Dr. Wen was 9 years old. Coming back to Guam, he walked the grass of the War in the Pacific Memorial Beach Park, where he briefly lived.
Then we were at Guam about at the beginning of May. And we stayed at Camp Asan, which I believe now is Asan Beach. Mm-hmm. We stayed there for like a month. And then we went to camp, I think, to Anderson Air Force Base for another week or so, waiting to be transported.
His family ultimately settled in Southern California, where he went to school and distinguished himself. He's now a faculty member at Loma Linda University, where he's done research on the body reacting erroneously to infection, the potentially lethal condition known as sepsis.
Yeah, so the management of sepsis right now is antibiotic, fluids management or blood pressure management, and source control is what we call it. Take out the source of infection. There has been a lot of research in the last, I would say, at least 3 or 4 decades looking what we call novel therapies. Novel therapies mean is there a specific drug that can target the disease? And we have a number of them. I would say several dozens that's been researched. Unfortunately, none of them has held up because we don't truly understand the unifying mechanism of sepsis.
After working as a software engineer, he shifted focus and went to med school. Now, he may have pivoted professions, but he maintained his innovative mindset that he now applies to the business of saving lives.
I'm actually exploring the use of AI for that. I think in the last maybe 5 to 10 years, there's a lot of predictive model that have been used to identify sepsis. But again, it goes back to the fundamental premise of what is the definition or how do I diagnose sepsis? So we don't have a gold standard yet. So when you have AI, it's just another predictive model that has to work off a gold standard. And when we're still debating about the gold standards, it's very difficult. But I think, yes, AI may add a different level of possibilities.
Summer's here, Guam. Get ready for sun-soaked days with Kmart. From beach gear to backyard barbecue essentials, Kmart has it all at prices that keep your wallet cool. Stock up on snacks and fun kids activities to keep them entertained. Kmart is Guam's one-stop shop for summer fun. Plus, military and frontline workers save more with our exclusive discounts every day. Shop now for your summer essentials at Kmart, the 24-hour superstore. Summer vibes, Kmart style.
Guam's beauty is only surpassed by its hospitality. Please help protect it by not bringing any items that can have a harmful impact on the island. Remember, if it's not native, it could be invasive. Leave invasives behind.
New training location confirmed. The Mariana Islands. Before and after training, you will identify and sanitize your tactical gear to prevent the spread of invasive species. If it's not native, it could be invasive. Leave invasives behind.
All right, Hafide, once again, my friends. Max Ronquillo is a man of many, many talents. You know him as literally the music man. He's been an educator. He has been a serviceman. And now through the Guam Philharmonic Organization, Max, you have been able to bring this amazing story that, we're about the same age.
Yes.
And when I was talking with Jeff earlier, and when we were studying Guam history, this was something that was not really touched on, and certainly the importance is off the charts. So good to see you again, and thank you for putting this wonderful project together. I know it's been a long time coming.
Yeah, it has been a global effort. We have scholars from around the world to make all of this happen. So, and it is a story that needs to be told. And we went to the same high school, and whether you realize it or not, we were surrounded by Vietnam veterans, and many of them were not ready to tell their story about this episode in U.S. history. I wasn't even born yet, and I'm not sure if you were. Maybe you were just born at that time. But
I mean, the fall of Saigon, 51 years ago now. Right. It happened the year I was born.
Yeah. So, this really prompted with me working with a few collaborators to bring Miss Saigon to Guam, the musical. And I knew that there was a connection with Guam, but I didn't really know how deep. And as I kept digging, the fact that 115,000 plus people came through here, and just imagine the people of Guam coming out with their families and friends and doing the best they can to really live that Inafamaulik spirit, making it work. Regardless of the situation or lack of resources, we were not ready to take care of 115,000, but we did. And
we made it work. That's who we are.
We made it work.
And again, through the performing arts, you have been able to uncover and introduce to our people, this amazing story.
Yes, and there's a lot of musical nuggets in this exhibit.